May 20th, 2013, one of the most infamous dates in Oklahoma history. An F5 tornado tore through Moore, Oklahoma, not only killing 24 people, but destroying countless homes as well. Scott and Carrie Burkhart were just two of the thousands affected. This is their story.
The day started out just like any other day. My wife and I got ready to go to work. At the time, our son, Jack, was not quite 1 year old. I took him to my parents in South Oklahoma City, where they babysat him while I went to work. While at work, you could sense, you knew the weather was going to be bad. Clouds started rolling in, more muttering and rumors, people talking at work about the possible storm that's rolling in. When the news station started tracking the tornado, they picked it up right over I-44 and 149th Street. Our house is on 149th and Santa Fe, roughly. I was able to watch the tornado make its way straight down 149th Street to the elementary school near my house, Briarwood Elementary and more. I heard the newscaster mention that Briarwood had been hit by the tornado, and at that point I pretty much knew I was going to have some type of damage. As I'm watching the report, I caught enough of the brick in my neighbor's brick that I could tell that was my house. And I knew at that point there was significant damage.
Dr. Kevin Klossel is an associate professor in the meteorology department at Oklahoma University. He speaks about what a Category F5 tornado entails.
Categories are all based upon damage, so they're after the fact. If you ever hear anybody, meteorologist or otherwise, look at a tornado and say, ooh, that's an F3, whatever. You can't do that, right? We don't do the rating until after the tornado has ended and we can actually get into the damage path and see, based upon the damage, how strong the winds were.
The place that I had lived for 7 years at that point was unrecognizable. I didn't know what street I was on. The walls were still standing. The garage was collapsed like an accordion. The roof was, all of it was gone. At that moment, it just became real. I was able to make eye contact with my wife. We just hugged each other and she cried and all I could do was tell her that it was going to be okay.
Something that really helped people like Scott and Carrie through this tough time were acts of kindness by their fellow Oklahomans.
One of those kind of really random acts of kindness after the tornado for us was I got my high school diploma back from a complete stranger. Apparently this gentleman who had my diploma, he said it blew into his yard, and he took it to the high school and dropped it off with someone saying, I don't know if any of you know this person, Carrie, my name was Carrie Shockley at the time, but if you do, can you please give this to her? And the person that received the diploma was actually a friend of mine. So of course she knew me and called me just a few minutes later and I was able to get my diploma back. I think it's like pretty heartwarming to know that someone thought, I mean, a diploma is a piece of paper, but he thought that that was important enough to keep. It's gonna make me choke up a little bit. To give back to me. So those kind of things do mean a lot.
You know, Oklahomans are always willing to lend a hand in times of need, and that day proved that to be true.